Beneath the unassuming stone of a rocky mountain, where water gathers like an innocent mirror of the sky, lurks a monster born of murky depths and forgotten fears. It waits in silence, coiled beneath water barely deep enough to ripple, yet somehow just deep enough to drown. Hatchlings call it a myth. Parents laugh it off. But those who have peered too long into the stillness know the truth. Within the shallowest of puddles, danger stirs. It needs no ocean trench or blackest lake. Only a moment, a misstep, and the will to hold its prey until they can struggle no more. If you've attempted to be a deino recently, I'm sure you're well aware of their plight. Most deinos rely on fish for basic sustenance between more filling meals. Fish to get started, fish to grow, fish to stave off starvation. Fish, though, simply choose to exist only in the most minuscule of numbers. Finding one is like finding a camel in the Arctic. Just about impossible. Which is why I decided it's time to play deino again. If I could survive as a land deino before, surely I can survive as a proper semi-aquatic deino minus fish now. I got extremely lucky and found a starved deino my same size upon spawning into the swamp. A double stroke of luck. See, without fish, my deino needed to be able to travel. I knew exactly where I wanted to put her, but getting the mutation that allows me to live in and around the saltwater was going to be essential to my survival. So I ate the other guy who failed to thrive, and got a little bit of growth on me before making my way to the edge of the swamp. There are better places to get the saltwater mutation as a deino, but those other places can be dangerous if other larger deinos are camping them looking for easy meals. So I opted to do the dehydration trot between freshwater and saltwater multiple times. With the negative status vanishing from my character menu, it was finally time to select my first mutation. Now I was really ready to begin my journey. Here's the thing about the beach. There's a lot of turtles there. Like, a lot of turtles. Oh, but meta, turtles aren't on your diet as a deino. They're useless. Wrong. Rotten things become diet foods for deino, which means anything is diet if you stare at it long enough. And so I killed a turtle on the beach, and then went to pick up the corpse of a baby raptor that had apparently decided the swamp was no place to be a squeaky toy. The next good long while was spent doing the rinse and repeat of killing several turtles when my stomach was near full, and leaving them to rot while I floated peacefully nearby. Sitting in the open probably wasn't exactly the safest way to grow, but with so few deinos around, and aware of their ability to thrive on rotten turtles, I had the beach to myself. For a while, anyway. As I sat with my pile of slowly rotting turtles, I spotted a Carno sitting on the edge of the grass nearby. I wasn't near big enough to grab him, but maybe if he was AFK, I could sneak up and grab a few nibbles on him. Nope. He was all the way there. We stared at each other for a long moment before I returned to the water and moved back toward my turtles. He took off into the trees, and when he appeared again, he was carrying something. His little wiggle dance felt like a tease. Looky here, I caught food. You just have turtles. I ignored him. Until he dropped it and walked away to sit down elsewhere. Oh? Not a mockery, but a gift? Well, I wasn't going to turn down instant diets. A lot of players feel for the plight of the dinos. Even I have offered a carcass to the water lizards desperately trolling the banks for anything within reach. After all, we can't bully land dinos if dinos in general don't exist, right? Time passed, and as soon as I was large enough to drown carnos and ceratos, I made my way to the puddle I had in mind for my home. There's a lot of well-known, popular places for dinos to reside. West Rail Pond, Highland Lake, South River, all hot spots. Almost always enough food for a lone dino to reside there without too much fear of starvation. But I wasn't going to any of those places. I didn't have an interest in sharing my space or having my prey being cautious. I was headed to a puddle I knew was just barely deep enough to hide in. Just deep enough to drown my future meals. A puddle that was also close enough to the beach that I could use turtles as insurance to stay alive, should the food become scarce at any point. I needed to be careful, though. Any land-based travel as a dino, especially on this server, could result in being hard targeted. The sun was going down. I had arrived at the perfect time. Under the cover of darkness, I made my way to my new home. Someone had left me a housewarming gift in the form of their rotten carcass floating in the water. How very thoughtful. And now, we wait. One side of the puddle definitely had a deeper spot for drowning my prey, but the other had more space to move. I wasn't fully grown yet either, so I had to be choosy about my targets. After regaining my oxygen, I stopped on the edge of a puddle for a drink, only to hear movement in the bushes behind me. I'd heard an adult Maya nearby, and at my size, I didn't exactly want to get caught out of the water if I could help it. But, to my very pleasant surprise, it was instead a small trike. He'd clearly seen me enter the water, and stood apprehensively some distance away from the water's edge, sniffing. Far away, but not far enough. Oh, I got him! I can't believe he let me do that. Little man, what were you thinking? I surfaced to eat, only for the Maya to appear. Ah, yes. I could wait. When the Maya moved away, I started to eat. Only for him to return and try to bully me. It didn't work. Barely any damage taken myself, and he decided to back off. The next day I logged back in and decided that the other side of the puddle was the better option. I had more space to move and grow, and more potential victims came to that side from South proper than they came from South Beach on the other. When it comes to Dino, much like Herrera, time between meals can be long or short depending on where you've set up shop and how many people happen to wander by. Dino is affected more heavily by that choice, as they can't travel easily anywhere on Gateway, especially now that Trike exists, and can essentially one-tap any Dino caught in the open. I had chosen well, though. Players did not approach the water warily at all at first. I even managed to pull out the good old bush Dino of my Spiro days again, grabbing a much too comfortable Cerato as he stopped for a sip. Eventually, though, right as I hit full growth, the food began to run dry, and I had to make my first trip to the beach for turtles, since my hostile takeover of the rock pond. I could smell food down by the beach. Someone had been killing turtles, and potentially each other for me out there. And sure enough, there was food everywhere. Survival of the fittest. After cleaning up the beach of all the litter left there by very messy tourists, I returned home with a full belly and renewed vigor. Oh yeah, this was the easy life. Or so I thought. Nothing came by in the hour that my full stomach gave me. Not a single potential meal. I did, however, hear another Deino down on the beach, occasionally singing the song of our people. I decided to answer that song with one of my own. There was a Dilo out there too, but even as he tried to nibble my tail, I paid him no mind. I had eyes only for the Deino encroaching on my territory. My pond was mine. But this beach was mine too. I was honestly surprised the other Deino didn't flee deep into the ocean and hide. Instead, he waited, knowing I was targeting him. My hunger gave me additional strength. Hypermetabolic inanition is my weapon of choice when I play Deino. Who needs gastro healing when most Deino v Deino fights come down to who can deal more damage faster in a face tank? The ocean was quiet, after all, and now I had plenty of food for while I healed up naturally and moved back to my home pond. It was nice to be home again. The ocean made me nervous. As night fell, a trio of tiny trikes came for a sip. My plan was just to bite them all to death, but somehow my first bite missed. The second one caught me a baby, and the other two fled. Oh well. I wasn't horribly hungry yet, as nice as it would have been to fill up more by taking all three. But then the escapees returned. The death of their friend must have driven them mad. They raced into the water, right into my waiting jaws. I hadn't needed to catch them all from the get-go. Killing one had doomed them all. Food got scarce once more. I had to return to the beach for my safety. The server was full though, so as soon as I had enough food to last a bit longer at my pond, I headed back. The sun was rising, and the last thing I wanted was to risk traveling back during daylight hours or getting stuck on the beach all day. With the rain pouring and the darkness masking my approach, I was a silent killer. And the Maya that walked right in front of me to get a drink was exactly what I needed. Gateway blessed my return, and for the first time ever, I actually got to hear my victim's last words.
They're gonna hurt you.
Oh, there's a Deino here!
What?
Oh. Yeah, there's a Deino! He was in the... It's not deep enough to drown me, you idiot.
We're coming.
He's trying to... It's not deep enough to drown me.
Yo,
Oh wait, it is! Oh no!
No,
He's
we're
gonna
coming.
kill me! He's gonna kill me!
I'm coming. We're
I'm
almost
dead.
here.
I'm dead. No, I'm dead.
No!
no!
Oh my god!
The herd was a bit less than thrilled at my existence. Especially after I learned that the one I grabbed was intending to nest and had eggs. Rest well, Maya and future children. I'm sure we'll meet again in another life. My glorious reign of watery destruction continued. The Carno population was high still, and escaping their oppressive existence in the water had been an incredibly nice change of pace. For the next while, I took revenge for the deaths of my Dilos, Raptors, Ceratos, and Tenos that lost their lives to the Carno plague. I have to admit, the Carnos themselves were delicious, though. Even though Carnos were easily the most plentiful, I still found other meals to satisfy my hungry Deino. Things to add to my herbivore bingo card. A Tenno. Then a young Stego. One more carnivore as a palate cleanser, before marking off the final large herbivore I hadn't yet caught. A dibble. The Maya herd hadn't all learned from previous experience that this pond was no longer safe. A pair of them approached the bushes for a drink. Oh, I could take my pick this time. Having grabbed a female Maya last time, I aimed for the male instead. I still had enough stamina to drown the female as well, but she didn't stay close enough to the water despite her remaining nearby, protesting the death of her companion. Oh well, I had my prize. While regaining stamina after a long stint in the water, I spotted a rival Deino approaching my pond. The first proper invasion in over 2 weeks of causing chaos there. I could get the drop on them, but this was my territory. Sure, I could let them leave, but I had been here on my own a long time. Letting them escape to potentially meet an ally in return for a hostile takeover was not an option. Besides, I don't know about you, but that's a land Deino if I've ever seen one. And so I followed. In probably the slowest chase to have ever existed in the Isle, I kept after them. Finally realizing that I wasn't going to turn back, they turned to face me. My home was safe. The Queen of the Puddle reigns supreme. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts below. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Thanks, and I hope to see you again soon.